kepada di Habitat Hill hari tu. But I think unfortunately tak ramai yang, I think ada berapa, 3 orang, 4 orang yang daripada architecture. But I think kita start dulu dengan lecture sekejap, lepas tu kita selang-selikan dengan presentation dari group 1, 2, 4 dan 5. So we will start with the class first. Saya dah letak dekat dalam e-com all the lecture notes. Lepas tu ada beberapa dokumen yang related to today's punya topic, which is environmental impact assessment. And you can look on that later after the class. Dekat week ke-8 week 8 environmental impact assessment. So today kita akan belajar pasal environmental impact assessment lah. It's an assessment, impact assessment for the development yang related to environment, any development lah. Actually dekat dalam Malaysia ni supposedly macam dekat overseas juga, any development, new development especially are required to undergo the impact assessment. Sebab ini requirement by the international and national punya bodies, development bodies. Boleh dengar tak?
Boleh Doktor.
Okay. How is everyone today? Ada masalah tak? Ada kesihatan ke? Sebab one of our student yang pergi visit hari tu was tested positive, and the rest I think the whole house yang tinggal serumah dengan dia kena angkut juga pergi dekat quarantine center. I hope ada kelas architecture and landscape student yang bukan dalam studio saya, I hope everyone is well lah. Okay. So last week I think the architecture student satu group lah yang dah present with Dr. Hafizah, and the rest of us have not yet present at the site. Tapi dia orang dah submit, cuma belum present. So hari ni kita akan tengok dia orang punya presentation. Okay. Sebelum kita dengar dia orang punya presentation, kita tengok dulu kita punya tajuk hari ni. The environmental impact assessment, EIA, ataupun singkatan dia is EIA. Okay, what is actually an impact assessment? Impact assessment are carried out to assess the consequence of individual project. I mean, macam yang saya cakap sebelum tadi, impact assessment is a task, is a kajian yang dijalankan before sesuatu pembangunan dijalankan, especially when it related to the environment, ecosystem, ecological area. So kita akan adakan impact assessment. There are so many impact assessment. Kita ada EIA, kita ada SIA, social impact assessment. Kita ada strategic environment assessment. So it's all under the impact assessment. Kalau nak tengok baca lebih lanjut, you can go to the source. I already include the link dalam nota. Okay, bila benda ni start, the Convention on Biological Diversity, CBD, the Ramsar Convention. Pernah dengar tak Ramsar? Kita ada Ramsar site dan sebagainya. So it's under Ramsar as well. The Convention on the Conservation of Migratory Species of Wild Animals recognize impact assessment as an important tool for helping ensure that the development is planned and implemented with biodiversity in mind. Okay? So impact assessment ni untuk kita assess kawasan tu, dia punya environment, dia punya biodiversity, habitat, supaya kita minimize the consequence ataupun masalah-masalah di masa akan datang. The CBD requires parties to apply impact assessment to projects, program, plans, policies with a potential negative impact on biodiversity. Actually, potential negative impact, not a total negative impact, not a total tak ada langsung impact, bukan kita nak, kita just nak minimizekan impact tu ya. The values of biodiversity should be addressed in social impact assessment such as health impact assessment and to consider the role of biodiversity in disease transmission or biological control. So macam kita, yang ni kita kena tengok juga lah. Finally, biodiversity provide commodities for international trade that may be the subject of the study in trade impact assessment. Ni trade impact assessment. Okay, what is environmental impact assessment? Actually kita ada dua benda yang very close to our niche area lah, which is environmental impact assessment and also the social impact assessment. There is also like saya cakap sebelum ni, there is also others impact assessment, contoh economical impact assessment dan sebagainya. But one that are closest to us is EIA and also SIA. So the definition of EIA as defined as a study to identify, predict, evaluate and communicate information about the impacts on the environment of a proposed project, of any project lah. And to detail out the mitigating measure prior to project approval and implementation. UNEP defines EIA, United Nations UNEP, as a tool used to identify the environmental, social and economic impacts of a project prior to decision making. Before maknanya sebelum kita comes out with a decision ataupun before kita keluar sebiji design kita. So EIA datang before sebarang development. Okay, the aims of EIA is to predict environmental impact, okay, in project planning and design, find ways and means to reduce adverse impact. Macam saya cakap ya, kita nak reduce, to minimize impact on the environment, to shape a project to suit the local environment and present the predictions and options to decision makers. EIA juga membantu decision makers, stakeholder, contoh local authority, pihak berwajib, apa-apalah, kementerian dan sebagainya untuk tengok sama ada projek tu high impact or low impact to the environment. So dengan adanya EIA, EIA punya kajian, kita akan bawa, biasanya bila kita buat satu kajian EIA, kita akan bawa keluar report. Dan report ni akan membantu these stakeholders and decision makers, local authority untuk meluluskan sesuatu pembangunan. Other aims of EIA is to taking into account the relationship with the socio-economic, cultural, human health impact and both benefit and also dia punya constraint dia. Bila kita cakap pasal EIA, dia bukan tengok saja kepada dia punya kebaikan, but also dia punya orang kata impact, dia punya keburukan yang akan sesuatu environment tu bila kita buat sesuatu projek. The fundamental components of EIA by stages. So dia ada stages I think ada tujuh komponen and semua ni ada stages dia. Okay, stage 1 is screening to determine which project of the development require a full partial impact assessment study. Scoping is to identify which potential impact are relevant to assess. Assessment and evaluation of impact and development of alternative. So kalau kita dalam EIA report tu dia kata this is the keburukan sesuatu pembangunan. So bila kita ada report, kita boleh memikirkan the other alternative of our development tu Okay, yang keempat reporting. This is EIA punya report. Biasa kita akan ada environmental impact statement, EIA report. Yang ini memang kita keluarkan bagi setiap kawasan. Contoh kita kalau dekat Malaysia it's not that comprehensive lagi, tak banyak, tak semua tempat ada. Maksudnya kalau dekat UK dia ada EIA untuk setiap negeri ataupun daerah dia. Kalau begitu juga dekat US, dia ada setiap negeri tu dia ada. Setiap daerah dia ada EIA report dia. Tapi Malaysia kita ada a general report of EIA for our development. Contoh hutan ke for an area, bukan satu kawasan. Okay. Yang kelima is review. Review of the EIS. So bila kita nak buat yang ni, kita akan bila kita nak buat sesuatu development, kita akan review EIS statement dekat suatu kawasan. Nombor 6 is decision making. Bila kita dah buat, kita dah consider impact kepada sesuatu kawasan, kita dah tengok the EIA, kita dah minimize the impact towards the environment and also social. Bila kita cakap pasal environment, ekosistem, kita ada 3 benda, flora, fauna dan kita ada human. So tiga entity ni kita tak boleh kebelakangkan. So when we come out with the best solution ataupun alternative dalam design kita yang dah consider all the EIA punya statement, report dan sebagainya, and it come to the decision making, dan bila kita dah buat sesuatu, dah come out with one decision dan kita dah buat development tu, kita tak boleh tinggal macam tu saja. Untuk EIA, kita kena keep up on monitoring, compliance, enforcement and environmental auditing. So kita kena tengok juga during the development, semasa EIA punya report ni sebelum. So after kita buat decision pun kita still kena monitor sesuatu benda Okay, the importance of EIA. EIA as a planning mechanism because it comes from the early stage of planning and development design. So it's a planning mechanism to foresee and address the potential problem at early stage. So kita nak tengok daripada awal apa masalah yang mungkin atau pun bakal terjadi kalau kita buat sesuatu projek. To avoid costly mistake, yang ni is very important dalam kita punya design world. Kita selalu nak cost effective. Kalau kita cakap pasal maintenance pun, kita nak low cost punya maintenance dan sebagainya. And EIA is one of the tools that can actually bukan avoid sepenuhnya, tapi kurangkan mistake untuk yang mengundang banyak cost. EIA provide additional information for existing planning towards a better decision making. So basically EIA ni dia akan ada penambahbaikan ataupun report. Dia macam EIA ni, satu report mungkin akan valid for 10 years maybe. So dia akan upgrade dari masa ke semasa untuk provide additional information untuk better decision making. Okay, sekejap Okay, EIA ni it's come from international lah. Kita bermula dengan NEPA. national environmental policy from United States, and then it comes forward to all the country in the world lah, and Malaysia pun tak ketinggalan untuk kita tengok pasal EIA ni. So what is EIA in Malaysia? It was introduced in April 1988. It's basically under the Ministry of Natural Resource and Environment, Kementerian Pembangunan Alam Sekitar, if I'm not mistaken. And then dia EIA ni is under Department of Environment lah, DOE. It is a model on the National Environmental Policy, NEPA, yang started in 1969. This guideline, the first guideline in Malaysia drafted in 1979 actually, and was reviewed until now lah. So tu yang saya kata, EIA report ni dia akan ada review ikut tahun Dia tak semestinya satu report pakai untuk lifetime. So kita ada, yang ni you boleh tengok nanti, saya ada letak dalam e-com, Environmental Impact Assessment Guideline in Malaysia. Ini macam mana kita nak buat report, EIA report for certain area, I think, yeah. So you buka balik okay, what to consider prior to EIA? Apa yang kita perlu consider sebelum kita buat EIA di sesuatu kawasan, sebelum kita menjalankan kajian impact assessment, environmental impact assessment di sesuatu kawasan. Okay, first is the project concept. The concept of project parallel with development plan, policies or any decision of the government. Kita ada National Physical Plan, yang ni national punya lah, Malaysia punya. Kita ada Structure Plan and Local Plan and Regional Plan ni is based on dekat mana site kita. Site kita memang, I think you all pun dah familiar bila you buat project, kita kena tengok balik Structure Plan, Local Plan, Regional Plan. Yang ini semua guideline. Bila kita cakap pasal guideline, benda ni adalah requirement yang perlu kita ikut bagi sesuatu kawasan. Contoh kalau kita buat dekat Kelantan, kita kena tengoklah Kelantan punya structure plan, local plan and regional plan. And agreement between government of Malaysia dengan Kualiti Alam on the disposal of scheduled waste in Malaysia. Yang ni kalau melibatkan waste dan sebagainya, ada banyak lah ni, ada 8. So yang ni you boleh tengok dalam folder di dalam e-com on EIA procedure and requirement in Malaysia. Okay, yang kedua is the site selection. Prior to EIA kita kena buat, when we select the site, kita kena tengok it is either is located in or adjacent to environmental sensitive area. Kita kena tengok sama ada site tu dia berada di dalam ataupun berdekatan dengan sensitive area. So ESA ni, environmental sensitive area ni ada beberapa rank, you boleh baca. ESA rank 1, all protected areas. Contoh macam ni lah, wetland, turtle landing site. Lepas tu rank 2, other forest, corridors linking dan sebagainya. Rank ESA rank 3 is marine park, buffer zone. Ni you kena identify lah you punya site tu di kawasan mana ataupun berdekatan dengan kawasan mana. Okay. Site selection process, kita ada banyak. Ni it's either sensitive coastal ecosystem or large or sensitive project. So kita kena tahu. Okay, this is the general criteria for site development to commence EIA. Ada banyak lah general criteria dia. Yang pertama is buffer. Buffer provide appropriate buffer zone based on the specific category. Yang kedua, air pollution, yang kita nak tengok kriteria dalam site development. Yang ketiga, social and cultural. This is very close to ours. Yang ini berkaitan dengan manusia. Avoid populated areas, park, scenic area. Public participation is very important and local interest group. Kita kena bagi consultation, kita kena interview diorang. Apa yang diorang perlukan, apa yang diorang nak untuk kita preserve. Proximity, jarak. The facility should be distant to sensitive potential receptor. Any facility kan, such as school, places, worship, perlu jauh daripada sensitive area. So yang ni kita kena tengok jarak juga. Water pollution, water catchment area should be avoided. Yang ini is very important area. Water catchment area paling besar dekat mana? Siapa boleh bagi tahu saya? Kita punya water catchment area dekat mana? Bukan saja Malaysia, tapi tempat lain. Siapa boleh bagi tahu? Dalam I think dalam ekosistem ada bagi tahu hari tu. Bahagian mana water catchment area paling besar? Zahir. Zahir datang tak lecture ekosistem service. Dekat mana tempat water catchment area yang paling besar? Zahir?
Ya. Mungkin Tasik Kenyir kot.
Tasik Kenyir tu dekat kawasan mana?
Terengganu.
Kawasan, nama kawasan. Ecological site, ekosistem apa?
Ekosistem maksudnya?
Yelah, dia dekat laut ke, dia dekat kawasan darat ke, dia dekat gunungan, apa-apalah.
Saya tak pasti.
Okey, biasanya dekat mana-mana pun negara dalam dunia ni, water catchment area adalah tempat yang paling berbukit bukau. Kalau kat Malaysia, dia sungai pula lah. Dia forest lah. Kita punya kawasan Tasik Titiwangsa pula dah. Banjaran Titiwangsa tu is our biggest punya water catchment area. Water catchment area ni sebab apa dia kat situ, dia ada sungai, kita ada dam dekat area situ. Sebab water catchment is where from air daripada tanah tinggi tu dia turun mengalir. Sebab tu kita ada sungai dan sebagainya. Bila kita kacau benda tu, yang itu akan ada masalah kepala air, akan ada masalah tanah runtuh dan sebagainya. Sebab pengaliran air tu dah tak betul. Sebab tu bila kita cakap pasal EIA, one of the most important things untuk kita preserve is our forest lah. Sebab kat situ is our biggest, not only habitat, flora and fauna, ecosystem, but also our big resources of water. Sebab tu kalau kita tengok, ada tak orang buat dam, empangan air dekat dalam bandar? Tak ada kan? Sebab resource air tak ada. Resource air biasa dia akan mengalir dari tanah tinggi, bukit, dia akan turun ke bawah, mengalir ke bawah. Sebab itu our forest is very important. Beside of untuk memelihara habitat, tapi untuk memelihara juga kawasan water catchment kita. Sebab tu kalau kita tengok kita punya banjaran Titiwangsa, Gunung Gandang kita menghubungkan berhubung daripada satu negeri ke satu negeri, dan there is issue on empangan ni kawasan negeri mana, empangan ni kawasan negeri mana, and benda tu political issue sahajalah. But all in all, this water catchment area is very important to all Malaysian lah. So bila you buat development in a forest area, you need to know forest is our tempat di mana water catchment area. Okay, yang seterusnya, general criteria is geology and hydrology. seating of facilities, industry waste dan sebagainya should have due regard for their potential to contaminated groundwater reserve. Bila kita cakap pasal water, kegunaan air kita bukan sahaja kita dapat daripada air daripada water catchment tu juga, tapi daripada underground, groundwater punya air. Groundwater daripada dalam tanahnya. So kita kena, bila kita buat sesuatu pembangunan, kita kena tengok juga our geology and hydrology. Risk of toxic clouds, fire and explosion. Jadi kita kena tengok juga bila kita buat sesuatu site development. Waste disposal and raw material. Macam mana kita nak buang waste tu. Access, this is very important. Access road for easy entry and exit of raw material, product and waste transportation, utilization of secondary roadways. Okay, noise, secluded location are best is feasible. If not, suitable buffers and distance from human dwelling must be kept. So bila kita buat sesuatu pembangunan, sepatutnya dia sepatutnya jauh daripada human settlement. Dekat mana orang tinggal tu kena jauh daripada tu. Tapi kalau benda tu tak boleh dielakkan, then kita kena create a buffer supaya noise tu akan kurang mengganggu kawasan perumahan. Land value, so kita kena tengok value of the land. Yang ni you akan boleh baca lah. Noise, avoid unique habitat areas, setting the plant near or in ecologically or environmental sensitive habitats can cause irreversible damage to this habitat. Bila kita cakap pasal noise juga bukan saja kepada human settlement, human punya development, health, tapi juga kepada habitat lain. So sebab tu kita ada environmental sensitive habitat such as mangrove, estuaries, wetland, coral reef. So benda-benda ni kita kena pelihara. So this is legal requirement. Actually legal requirement ni you akan goes over time bila you practice. Bila melibatkan kawasan-kawasan environmental sensitive area, hutan, paya bakau dan sebagainya, you akan buka balik this act. Sebab you kena follow this environmental quality act. You boleh tengok nanti ada dalam ni. So this is act yang ada. Benda ni boleh didapatkan daripada ministry kita. Saya pun malas nak ajar dalam ni. Sebab tak guna pun you ingat. Tapi it's important for you to know yang benda ni ada supaya nanti you kena belik balik. Sebab benda ni nak ingat susah sebab dia akan review every 5 ke 10 tahun dia akan review balik based on our condition. So you kena tahu benda ni ada supaya nanti bila you nak buat tu you kena refer. So dia ada macam-macam site. Kita ada agriculture site, kita ada airport, kita ada drainage and irrigation, kita ada land reclamation. Okay, hari tu kita orang pergi Penang Penang pun sekarang sangat aktif dalam land reclamation. Kalau kita tengok dulu, terusan tu besar kan. So actually dia orang ada reclaim land at least I think for now dia orang dah extend about 500 meter. Saya rasa masa akan datang dia akan goes beyond 1 kilometer sebab dia orang alasan dia orang Penang is a very small state lah. So untuk dia orang buat development tu dia orang perlu land reclamation. Land reclamation ni tahu kan penambakan tanah dekat tak kisahlah kawasan sungai ke, kawasan laut ke. So kita cakap as a land reclamation lah. Especially in a coastal area. Land reclamation dia banyak prosedur and it is actually land reclamation memang sangat involved dengan EIA sebab kita kena buat impact, impact assessment not only to environment flora, fauna dan human, tapi juga kepada tanah. Bila you buat land reclamation, you akan ganggu the wave system. You know, what happened in Singapore bila dia orang buat reclamation of the land, actually wave ombak sebenarnya lari ke tanah Malaysia. So that's what happened in Johor. Johor ada sebahagian kawasan dia adalah terhakis disebabkan land reclamation yang dilakukan oleh Singapore. So benda-benda ni kita kena tengok konsekuen dia. So when Singapore wanted to do the land reclamation, dia bukan sahaja perlu dapat kelulusan daripada kerajaan Singapore, tapi dia perlu mendapat kelulusan daripada international environmental punya organisation lah. So sebab dia melibatkan laut Cina Selatan belah sana. So bila kita cakap pasal laut, ia adalah under national punya, international punya organisation, bukan negara sahaja. Kita ada fisheries, forestry, housing, industri, chemical, petrochemical. Yang ini sangat penting bila kita tengok this industry have a very huge impact to our environment. Saya rasa 3 hari lepas kot yang dekat mana? Dekat Johor yang air bertukar menjadi warna biru disebabkan beberapa chemical. Ada baca tak? Ada terbaca tak? Yang ini di bawah portfolio Menteri Menteri Alam Sekitar kita. Siapa Menteri Alam Sekitar kita? Tahu tak? Sekarang our current Menteri Alam Sekitar. Siapa? Ke tak tahu? Saya tak tahu dia Datuk ke tak. Tapi Ustaz Tuan Ibrahim Tuan Man. So dia ada menjawab pasal isu air sungai berwarna biru, bertukar warna biru. So that is an impact to environment. Walaupun kita tengok cantiknya warna biru kan. Sebenarnya warna sungai yang selain warna asal dia akan ada sebenarnya ada sebab gangguan, kita cakap gangguan lah kepada ekosistem asal air tu. Contoh yang berlaku dekat Kedah, I think 3 tahun lepas, yang mana ada tasik biru kan. Tasik biru tu orang suka, tapi bila kajian alam sekitar buat kajian, dia ada satu sejenis, I think algae ke yang hidup dekat kawasan tu yang is not the habitat of the area. And I'm not sure whether it have impact to the native habitat. So bila kita cakap pasal ni, dia ada 2 impact lah. It's either positive impact to the natural habitat or negative impact to the natural habitat. So when we go to the Habitat Hill Penang on last Thursday, I do ask the managers over there. Dia bagi presentation, and then after the presentation, when we go around the Habitat Hill Penang, you guys yang tak pergi tu, if you have time, go to Habitat Hill. It's very beautiful, and actually you boleh tengok native and non-native habitat dekat situ. Native ni apa? Native ni adalah habitat asal. Kalau kita cakap forest, habitat asal forest. Tapi apa yang berlaku dekat Habitat Hill adalah dia ada pokok-pokok yang bukan forest trees. Bukan pokok-pokok asal di dalam hutan. Dia ada bawa, dia ada ginger, dia ada heliconia, dia ada macam-macam lah. So what happened, they blend it together very harmony. And I asked the managers whether it does have negative consequence to the native habitat. Saya tanya dia, ada tak kesan negatif kepada habitat asal kawasan tu? Sebab kita biasa cakap pasal forest, kita ada binatang-binatang dalam hutan kan. So bila dia orang bawa masuk pokok-pokok daripada yang bukan non-native, saya tanya dia, ada tak kesan negatif? Dia kata so far there is no negative impact, but there is a very positive impact in which diorang dah bawa masuk hampir 3,000 spesies ke dalam ke dalam Penang Hill tu. Dan antaranya adalah kita jumpa vampire crab. It's very small. Kalau you pernah pergi dekat tepi pantai, kita ada hermit crab. Hermit crab. Yang ini nama dia vampire crab. Dia kecil macam hermit crab. So dia hidup di dalam hutan Bila kita cakap pasal crab biasanya dekat coastal area. Tapi yang ni disebabkan dia orang bawa the flora, pokok yang dia punya habitat tu, dia bawa ke kawasan tu. Then we create another habitat. We give opportunities for other habitat to live in that area. So when it blend together, kita boleh kata sebagai positive impact to the environment. Sekejap Okay. Ada sikit je lagi. Oh, sorry. Okay. Yang ni you bacalah nanti. So kita ada infrastructure, kita ada petroleum, kita ada port, mining. Mining is very banyak dekat mana? Paling saya rasa I'm from Ipoh and I haven't seen yet. Tak pernah nampak lagi lah, tapi at certain area ada, tapi saya tak pernah nampak lagi sebanyak kuari tempat lain. Saya rasa paling banyak dekat Ipoh yang saya pernah jumpa lah. Maybe because I'm from Ipoh, so I haven't been to other area sangat. Tapi kalau you pergi Ipoh tu merata-rata mining quarry site. Petroleum, kita ada power generator, power generator and transmission, quarry dekat Perak banyak. Kita ada railways, transportation, resort and recreational, waste treatment and disposal, and water supply. So yang ni you boleh tengok lah. Under the Minister of Science, Technology and Environment. So environmental impact assessment project cycle. So kita ada project cycle dalam kita menjalankan kajian EIA. So first is project concept, 2 pre-feasibility study and also feasibility study. Feasibility study ni is a detailed identification of potential impact, baseline surveys, data gathering, prediction, evaluation of impact, bla bla bla, raga. So lepas pre-feasibility study, kita akan ada feasibility study, is assess the significant impact according to pre-feasibility study. Okay, stage keempat dalam project cycle is
saya kata Supri
Syafiq Mike.
siapa tu? Alright. Kita ada stage yang keempat dalam project cycle is design and engineering. So yang ni yang melibatkan kita punya niche area and also engineers. Bila kita buat sesuatu design, kita kena dapat EIA approval. Yang kelima adalah implementation, development lah, site development, construction dan sebagainya. During construction, the mitigating measures and EMP for construction must be implemented. Yang ni ada dalam regulation kita. Dan last kali kita ada monitoring and evaluation. Macam saya cakap tadi, bila kita dah buat semua, dah buat construction, kita tak boleh tinggalkan macam tu saja. Kita mesti ada monitoring and evaluation. Kita kena tengok, monitor benda tu. So ini dia punya cycle. Kita start dengan project concept. Kita pergi kepada pre-feasibility study. Dalam ni kita akan tengok environmental screening, site selection, project option. Dah ada project, kita pergi kepada, bila dah identify project, kita pergi ke pre-feasibility study which is assess the significant impact, identification of mitigation need, input to cost and benefit. So bila dah buat pre-feasibility study, kita come out with feasibility study which is more accurate. Apa beza feasibility study and feasibility study is just accuracy ataupun comprehensiveness. Bila kita buat pre ni, kita akan kaji secara general. Bila feasibility study ni exactly on that side. Kadang-kadang bila kita cakap pasal forest dekat Kelantan lain dengan forest dekat Pahang. So bila kita buat pre-feasibility study, kita akan forest in general for Malaysia. Tapi bila kita buat feasibility study, kita akan buat kajian pasal that particular forest. So itu beza pre-feasibility dengan feasibility study. It's more detail detail design mitigation measures, and then kita pergi kepada design and engineering. Lepas tu kita pergi kepada implementation bila kita dah ada design, implementation of mitigation measures and environment management plan. Lepas tu bila kita dah ada implementation, kita tengah buat, kita kena ada monitoring, audit, lesson and for future project. So I think that's all. Okay, ada soalan tak pasal EIA? Apa EIA ni sebenarnya masih tak faham? Ada tak? Ada tak? Kalau tak ada, saya nak share ada gambar je Siapa ni? Saya nak tunjuk je Okay, what we did in the Habitat Hill sangat best. Siapa yang siapa yang ada masa nanti bolehlah pergi dekat Habitat Hill tu. And this is our student by our student. Kerja by our student lah. By our student. Kerja-kerja daripada kita punya kawan-kawan lah di sana. So since kita ada 4 saja group dekat sana, lagi satu group adalah group by architecture student which is with Dr. Hafizah. Ainur Syafiqah. Ainur Syafiqah. You architecture ke?
Ya, saya madam.
Kenapa lambat?
Saya dah berapa ni?
Ha?
Naik saya slow tadi madam. Saya dah masuk yang kali tadi. Saya join yang ajar punya kamera.
Okay, tak apa.
Okay madam.
I want to share this one. Nanti you tanyalah, nanti video ni saya akan letak dekat Ecom. Bila kita buat online ni, this thing is inevitable lah. Benda yang tak boleh dielakkan, ada line tak okay ke apa. But please next time kalau line you tak okay, siapa-siapa lah. I'm not referring to you only one. Tapi siapa-siapa, just tell me WhatsApp we will understand sebab benda ni inevitable, tak boleh dielakkan. So this is our, Okay, this is group punya task hari tu. And kita ada contest and it was like the final winner was chosen by our fellow lecturers in landscape architecture lah. So this is I think group 5, ecosystem service. Alamak, macam mana saya nak tunjuk ni? Okay, nampak So apa yang kita buat dekat site, saya punya arahan adalah untuk ada creative illustration lah. Creative illustration ni bukan rigid kepada our architectural punya illustration, scale ke dan sebagainya. So kita nak student explore semua So this, tak boleh lah. Okay, this is ecosystem service group 5. This is group 1, flora, ecology of flora. So dekat sana ini semua pokok-pokok ekologi, ekosistem and ecosystem service yang terdapat di Habitat Hill. So this is from group 1. This is group 4, ecosystem. So ini ekosistem yang ada dekat sana. Kita ada monkeys, kita ada with all the plants, flora and fauna, a combination of each, of everything. So this is the fauna in at the Habitat Hill. So it's very diverse punya habitat, not only yang habitat yang kita tahu sajalah. So one of the interesting things adalah we are happen to see the red giant flying squirrel, I think. It's called Coluga, C-O-L-U-G-A. So dia ada kat situ. And then what's the difference? I think this is not Coluga. Kita ada nampak Coluga. Beza dia dengan flying squirrel is Coluga dia ada sayap juga tapi dia tak boleh terbang. Tapi dia slide on the trees. So sayap dia digunakan untuk slide and memanjat trees. So Coluga is one of the unique habitat dekat Penang lah. So based on the voting, I am happy to announce that the winner of this creative illustration is group 5, ecosystem service. Dan I hope that the architecture student yang tak ikut, tak terasa hatilah kita orang buat aktiviti tu. So congratulations to group 5, ecosystem service, because all the lecturers from landscape have majority have chosen your punya creative board. And then I think that's all from me. Sekarang ni kita nak ada presentation by group 1, group 2, group 4 and group 5. Okay, I think we start with group 1. Group 1 buat pasal Habitat Hill kan? Group 1. Ada tak group 1? Group 1 I think ada 3 orang from architecture Kita ada Syafiq Syazwan, Aiman Hakim, Muhammad Hafizuddin, Luqman, Faris Akmal, Azhim Fahmi, Zulhairi and Nazrin. But before that, saya nak you all key in log apa nama? Sign in untuk you punya kedatangan Sekejap Ada 2 Okay. Okay, boleh ni scan QR code ni.
Doktor, saya tak boleh scan line slow pakai handphone je ni.
Siapa?
Saya Kok Azian, Fatin Najwa, Syifa dengan Syuhada.
Nanti WhatsApp saya nama-nama
Okay.
yang tak boleh tu online. Tak boleh key in sekejap Okay. Scan. Yang lain scan Okay. Yang kedua. Okay. Boleh semua? Ada yang tak dapat scan lagi? Hafizuddin dengan Nazrin boleh sign in tak tu?
Madam, yang ni saya tak dapat scan, Madam.
Boleh.
Yang mana tak dapat scan? Yang mana? Yang mana tak dapat scan?
Madam boleh tak buka lagi sekali yang tadi tu?
Saya tanya dah tadi Yogana tak jawab pagi lah. Muhammad Syafiq Syazwan, Aiman Hakim, Hafizuddin, Luqman, Faris Akmal, Azhim Fahmi, Zulhairi, Nazrin. Present. The Habitat Hills Penang.
Kejap, madam.
Lamanya.
Syafiq Syazwan, boleh present?
Boleh tak boleh ni?
Tak apa, saya present. Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good morning to everyone. So today I will present about ecology and resources planning at the Habitat Hills Penang. So for the site introduction, Habitat Hill Penang is a world-class rainforest discovery center located at the edge of the magnificent rainforest, located within easy reach of the vibrant metropolis of Penang. So for the design approach, um, by putting nature first and focusing on people and the planet, the Habitat Penang Hills hopes to show that ecotourism can be sustainable. Penang Hill may not be a live with the sound of music, but it certainly has the potential to fill the state cover through ecotourism and make hearts burst into song of a verdant slope and view of vales. For the historical aspect, Penang Hill has been a popular recreation destination because of its cooler temperatures and access to nature. And then the nature trail at the habitat has existed. It is original from form for a long time. And this is the painting of the by Charles Dice, which is hangs in the Singapore Museum, date in 1846. So this is the drawing, the painting. And then for the culture aspect, in the 19th, early explorers to Penang would have been encountered an island largest cloaked with the forest and filled with plants and animals never seen before. And then by today, the forest hills of Penang endure and continue to provide a refuge for diverse species that delight nature enthusiasts from around the world. Next, I pass to Faris for ecological and ecosystem service.
Okay. Okay, for the ecological and ecosystem service, the hill and the coast of Penang have always been important to Penang's communities. The Penang Hill Biosphere Reserve, which encompass these natural areas, are a little green land to Penang Island. They provide valuable ecosystem service, space for recreation, and support the local economy. The Habitat Penang Hill provide a natural trail which allow water to filter through to the system below. Originally, the trail was built by the British East India Company.
Faris. Apa
Ya.
cerita pasal British balik Pak tu?
Ha?
Orang nak tahu ecological ecosystem service. Apa dia ecological ecosystem service dia kat situ?
So,
Apa dia punya ecosystem service kat situ? You pun tak boleh jawab.
wait, madam.
Apa dia punya ecosystem service dia?
Wait, doktor.
Ini manager.
The Habitat Penang Hill ni dia connect dengan nature.
Semua tempat ekosistem connect dengan nature. Apa ekosistem servis dia yang
Jap dulu.
kita ada berapa jenis ekosistem servis? Yang lain. Siapa yang tak datang itu exam tu waktu apa nama kelas Dr. Hafizah. Siapa yang datang? Ecosystem and ecosystem service. Apa dia? Punya banyak dia cakap tu. Pompang, you tak tahu. Sekali keluar very general. Dia connect nature dengan apa? Itu je. Tapi tak payah kita ajar apa tu ekosistem service. Ekologi dia apa? Is it maintain the lush intact patches? Is it a patches? Is it protect the rare landscape element? Apa dia? Ada banyak prinsipal. Ada 4 jenis servis ekosistem. Apa dia? Bagi tahu. Yang perempuan yang balik awal tu tak ada pun masuk hari tu waktu kelas tu. Lepas tu tak tengok. Tengok tak tengok tak lecture by Dr. Hafizah yang saya letak tu? Video. Ada 4 jenis servis ekosistem. Provisioning, regulating, supporting, cultural. Dia apa? Habitat Hill apa?
Habitat Hill ni macam cultural services.
Cultural apa? Awak punya cultural tu confident je. Apa culture dia kat situ? Jangan kata pasal British tu. Awak ni faham tak apa itu culture, apa itu provisioning? Baca balik. Markah untuk ekosistem dengan ekologi group awak salah. Kosong. Bila kita nak buat satu case study, saya kata case study, ecological and ecosystem service. Sebab tu saya kata sama ada 2 A3 ataupun 1 A2. Ecosystem service ni saya rasa banyak benda kat situ. Ekologi, mana gambar haiwan awak? Ini kelas ekologi ni. Ekologi and ekosistem mana? Sepatutnya saya expect kalau A2, separuh daripada A2 tu cerita pasal ecological dengan ecosystem service. This is ecology class. Kan saya nak cerita pasal design dia yang lain. Saya nak tahu ecological dengan ecosystem service. Ini you bagi satu baris macam tu saja. Put the priority. Kena tahu benda tu. Patutnya ecological dengan ecosystem service, sustainable aesthetic technology apply ni 1 A3. Kalau buat dalam A2 separuh A3. Separuh A2. Lepas tu gambar history sebesar-besar alam. Padahal yang kelas ekologi, gambar history ke gambar ekologi yang penting?
Gambar ekologi.
You punya markah ekologi yang teknologi apply, saya setuju. Aesthetical value, sustainable saya setuju. Aesthetical apa benda lagi? Bangunan tu bukan estetik sangat. Bangunan is sustainable, I can accept. Aesthetical value kalau dalam forest, dia punya forest area tu lah. That is aesthetical value, estetik, nilai estetik yang you tak jumpa tempat lain. Kenapa you nak ambil bangunan tu juga? Saya tak nak suruh redo, saya cakap dah saya tak nak suruh redo. This is your final mark and I'm sorry kalau you dapat markah rendah macam ni. Assignment final, please make sure you buat. Kalau tak tahu, tanya. Bila kita buat pasal kelas ekologi, dia punya penerangan bahagian ekologi, ekosistem, itulah yang paling banyak perlu. Saya tak nak terang-terang tulisan banyak ni. Ni, gambar. Gambar kita present through grafik, gambar. Banyak-banyak macam ni siapa nak baca? Dah lah banyak macam ni, very general. Kalau saya tanya apa ekologi kawasan ni? Hutan. Hutan apa? Ada berapa jenis hutan? Berapa jenis hutan? Berapa lapis hutan? Is it secondary forest? Is it tertiary forest? Is it primary forest? Itu yang kita kena tahu dalam kelas ekologi. Bukan studio ya anak-anak. Ini kelas ekologi. You need to differentiate. Dah lah you pergi Habitat Hills, tak ada juga tambahan. Gambar site introduction 1, 2, 3 sama je. Gambar benda bulat tu. Apa yang lagi important dekat you nak kaji dekat Habitat Hills Penang? There is a lot more. Next group. Group 2. Putrajaya Wetland. Yasmin, Izham, Billy, Anis, Ikhwan, Farhan, Syed Naufal, Lee. Cepat. Ikhwan nak tanya apa Ikhwan? Angkat tangan.
Group saya yang group 2.
Ya, okay. Present.
Wait, medium.
Okay, good morning to everyone. We from group 2 and I want to present case study at Putrajaya Wetland. First of all, for the site introduction of Putrajaya Wetland is Putrajaya located at about 25 kilometers south of Kuala Lumpur is the new administrative center of the federal government of Malaysia. So the Putrajaya Wetland now is also a wildlife sanctuary which attract a high variety of animal to the combined terrestrial aquatic wetland environment. Next, we go to design approach. To overcome the multitude of issues related to stormwater management of the new city, a more holistic and multidisciplinary approach. This involves consideration of land use planning and water cycle management during the planning stage of the Putrajaya development. Next, for the historical aspect, I pass to my friend Muhammad Ikhwan.
Okay, Billy. Thank you, Billy, for the historical aspect. For the construction was started in 1998 and fully complete in 2002. For the Putrajaya Wetland is the first man-made wetland in Malaysia and the largest construction freshwater wetland in the tropics. So I request Ai.
Okay. Okay. Next about sustainable and aesthetical value. Preeminent innovation and emergence of the new technology play a critical role in driving sustainable and effective management that adapt quickly change and demand cost of by economic demographic transition. Next, I pass my friends.
For the technology applied, there are two types of wetland construct and nature that after cheaper and low cost internet technology of wastewater treatment. For the construct wetland, trace low value of water waste load with easy degradable organic matter for isolated pollution in urban area. The constructed wetland creation of habitat to compensate for nature wetland. Next,
Okay, for the ecological and ecosystem service, there are 24 species of local freshwater fish are released in the wetland, a cell including a mackerel, a catfish, a illegal, eel, termaka, belida, and others. The wetland park is now the habitat of various aquatic animals such as herons, pangolin, bird of a prey, and various other aquatic plants. That's all from us, from group 2. Okay, thank you.
Ni grup ni others aquatic plant tu apa lagi? Ni bila kita nak buat kajian, actually aquatic plant you dengan aquatic plant yang you nak jumpa dekat laut, dekat sungai sama tak? Tak sama kan? So bila kita buat assignment, saya bagi kat site, saya nak tahu that site. Sebab tu saya kata you punya assignment ni very brief. Bila kita cakap pasal case study, it's very detail. Apa dia ekosistem dia? Gambar 2 tu je. Kalau you letak katak hidup dekat pokok apa? Dia dia hidup makan apa? Itu ekosistem. Dia makan apa di habitat dia dekat pokok apa binatang dia. Kalau you kata aquatic plant, apa binatang aquatic yang paling dominan? Yang tu saya nak tahu. What is the dominant aquatic fauna dekat situ? Ikan apa? Saya bukan nak suruh you listkan 100 ikan. Saya nak tahu ikan apa, binatang apa, fauna apa paling dominan dekat situ. Dia hidup dekat habitat mana? Bila kita cakap ekosistem, that whole ekosistem saya nak tahu. Sama macam group tadi. But this one is better. I like you punya design approach. You punya sustainable aesthetical value. You ada teknologi applied. It's just that you punya ecology dengan ekosistem tak cukup. But it's better than the first group tadi. So lepas ni bila kita buat assignment, apa-apa pun subjek, you tengok subjek tu apa dia punya subjek, core dia. Kalau ecological dan ekosistem, itu yang you kena fokus lebih. Sekarang ni you kena belajar where to focus, kat mana you nak fokus. Ecological and ecosystem tu setakat ni dua kumpulan tak cukup. Tapi this group is better lah, better. Group 2 is better. Lepas ni final punya assignment, saya nak buat mudah je sebenarnya. Final assignment, focus. Okay, next group 4.
Kejap madam, saya present. Madam,
Ni banyak tulisan lagi. Saya banyak kali dah cakap. Dalam studio pun saya cakap. You bukan student management, business, no. You student architecture, landscape architecture, graphics, photos, picture. Susunan board pun macam ni. Aduh. Oh, gambar punyalah kecil. You tengok kan saya buat creative illustration. Daripada creative illustration tu orang dapat tangkap dah. Oh ini. You know? Daripada tulisan macam ni, kalau orang tak nak baca, dia tak tahulah apa benda yang you nak present. Jangan baca, saya nak you present. Saya tak nak baca. Saya nak tahu apa itu Pulau Kukup. Ramsar site. See, kita jumpa balik Ramsar. Ramsar ni apa? Saya nak tahu. Group ni mesti tahu what is Ramsar. Present, Yogana.
Okay, good morning to lecturers and fellow friends. Okay, now I want to present case study of ecological park in Malaysia. We are from Johor. Our site is Pulau Kukup Ramsar site. Okay, the wide of site 6,472 kilometers square feet. Kukup Island is located at Johor State. Pulau Kukup located in South Asia District in Port Dickson. The hinterland changed in 1990s when scientists begin focusing on the land. In 27 March 1997, this land declared as a national park under the Johor State Park.
Tak nak baca, Yogana, tak nak baca. Apa dia side history dia? Bila saya cakap tak nak baca, maksud saya this is Ramsar site. What is Ramsar site? Okay, Pulau Kukup ada dekat mana? Berapa dia punya kaki persegi? This is 5,000 square feet located at contoh saya bagi Johor Bahru, and it covers 3,000 habitat flora fauna. That is not yang itu baru presentation. Jangan baca dengan saya. I'm very strict with that. I don't want to hear you baca the board. Teruskan.
Okay. The land consists of various wildlife animals such as monkey, white.
Various berapa ribu? Tak ada information.
Tak ada.
Okay, teruskan.
Wild birds, meat skippers, and etc. Okay, in the Iceland have various type of plants and animals. Okay, this Iceland have their own history before
Iceland? This what? Iceland?
Island.
Iceland jangan.
Have their own history before this. The island called Gugup because the residents used the effort of Serangga Lagoon. Okay, next. Design approach.
Apa serangga apa?
Lagoon.
Mana gambar dia? Where is the gambar? Picture of it. Benda yang important pun tak ada gambar. Teruskan.
Next design.
Next design approach.
Okay, next. Kawan dia siapa boleh tolong ni? Siapa boleh tolong ni? Tak ada siapa boleh tolong grup ni. Kalau tak saya tak dapat, tak bagi markah. Nawani, Hafrika, Yogana, Tanusha, Khairunisa, Azhar, Rafidah, Farah, Atika.
Next for design approach. There is a long walkway on Pulau Kukup that allow visitors to explore the island. There are also a suspension bridge and a 6-story observatory tower that are also built on the island. The tower allow to access the higher point on the island to enjoy the spectacular view on the vast mangrove forest. Next.
Culture aspect, for the main culture aspect that can be seen such as a fisheries production activity. This culture activity exists at any island and wetland area in the world. For historic culture, Pulau Kukup Islands was gazetted a national park on 27 March 1997 under the Johor State Park Corporation Enactment 1989. On 31 January 2013, this island was granted the status of a wetland of international importance or Ramsar site by the Geneva-based Ramsar Convention Bureau. Kukup Island is one of the biggest inhabited mangrove site in the world. Next.
Ada berapa habitat mangrove kat situ? Saya bila saya bagi task ni, saya dah jumpa dah semua information sebelum saya bagi site ni. You boleh kata dia tak ada bagi mention. Ada berapa mangrove species kat situ? The largest in Asia kan dia kata. How many mangrove species dekat Pulau Kukup? Group ni Kalau tak, saya tak bagi markah sebab you bagi kalau macam tu saya suruh budak dan tingkatan pun boleh buat macam ni. Ada berapa mangrove species dekat sini? Saya tak nak cari lambat. Saya nak sekarang juga bagi tahu. Kalau tak, saya akan assume you punya group tak study about this site. Ada berapa mangrove species dekat sini?
Mangrove species.
Berapa?
18.
18. Salah.
Yeah.
Okay. Soalan kedua. What is Ramsar site? Okay. Saya tahu kalau saya bagi lama lagi, you akan Google. Ramsar site is a wetland site yang designated under Ramsar. Ramsar ni is an organisation untuk conserve the wetland area all around the world. Okay, soalan ketiga saya. Ada berapa Ramsar site dekat dalam Asia? Dalam Malaysia lah. Ada berapa Ramsar site? Ada berapa site under Ramsar? Mangrove.
7.
7. Baca kat mana 7? Ada 7 dalam Malaysia?
Apa madam?
Ada berapa Ramsar site dalam Malaysia?
2, 7 kan?
Ha?
7.
Berapa? Yang cakap 7 tadi apa?
Tanjung Piai,
Pulau Kukup satu.
Pulau Kukup.
7
Tan-
site.
Tanjung Piai.
Sungai
Pulau Kukup antara 4 terbesar di Asia. That is how you do the assignment. Benda information yang very important. You definition Ramsar site pun you tak tahu, you tak bagi tahu. You ada bagi tahu tak dalam tu? Species. Ada 21 species dekat dalam ni. Mangrove species. Yeah. Semua information ni available online. Ecological and ecosystem dia apa? Untuk apa ni? Apa function ni? Pulau Kukup ni sebenarnya? Ecological system dia, ecosystem service dia apa? Flood control, physical protection, windbreaker, shoreline untuk apa? Sedimentation. Dalam saya punya information online ni saya jumpa semua benda. But that none of the important information ada dalam board you. Saya bagi tahu dah last class sebelum kita pergi site. Saya kata semua site ni saya dah cari information and I found that there is a comprehensive. Ada banyak information about site. 5 site yang saya bagi dekat you all. And then I found that you all tak buat study. Saya sebelum bagi assignment dekat you pun saya dah buat study. Ini kan you. How you expect me to bagi markah dekat you? 25% ya assignment ni. 25%. 15 board, 10% untuk presentation. 25% kalau you tak dapat tackle benda ni, you tak dapat pun B dalam you punya ni, the overall mark. You punya exam 40% je. Itu pun wallahualam. Saya harap everyone boleh score dalam exam. Next, group last. Group 5. Saya tak nak dengar dah group ni. Next. Nurul Shifa, Ku Nurul Azian, Afika Saidatul Fatihah, Nur Syuhada, Fauziah Fatih Najwa.
Sekejap madam, line slow.
Boleh zoom in tak? Saya tak nampak.
Assalamualaikum. Yes.
Boleh tak?
Tak boleh, nanti dia kecil lagi.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. We are from Group 5. Today we will present for Mata Mangrove Forest.
Assalamualaikum.
Mata Mangrove Forest, also known as MMRF, located at Kuala Sepatang Perak, is the largest mangrove forest reserve in Malaysia with an area about 40,000 hectare. MMFR is primarily managed for timber production with management plans based on a series of 10 years working plan. It is open to the public from 8 a.m. until 7 p.m. It is 28 true mangrove species and 13 associate species, 19 mammals, 155 species of bird, 112 species of fishes, 3 species of stingrays, 50 species of crab, and 3 species of firefly, and 20 species of prawns. Now I'll pass to the next presenter.
For the design approach, the mangrove ecosystem is made up of several important components, including the forest, soil, and marine ecosystem. For the forest type, we found 4 types of forest type. First was Agrotine Avicennia forest. It's a young stand of Avicennia invading the mud flat of estuaries and offshore characteristics newly formed forest area. Next was Berus forest. This is most common on the beach, almost entire composed of Bruguiera cylindrica with minor population of Zihopora and other Bruguiera. Third was transitional dryland forest. It's between the large Rhizopora forest and the true dryland forest, a mixture of sparse Rhizopora stand and large population of relic Ugandera with a dense crop of acrotism fern in the foreground. Lastly was dryland forest. It occur in isolate patches in the river, higher elevation on both the island and the mainland. There are 3 canopy layers with emigrants reaching a height of 30 meters and the diameters of 50 centimeters. Next, I will pass to the next presentation.
Nanti yang besar sangat, kecil sangat. Dekat tu.
Sebab tu saya kata jangan ambil daripada website. Sebiji tengok. You copy paste saja ni. It's not, macam ni bukan cara buat assignment. Besarkan, saya nak tengok you punya.
Alright, madam.
Nak tengok keseluruhan board. Yang bawah ni apa? Ecosystem survey. Yang tengah bawah.
Tengah ecological. Betul lah.
Ecological, madam.
Buka besarkan.
Alright, madam.
50. Ke bawah kan? Kat atas. Ke bawah.
For the ecological and ecosystem services, the Matang Mangrove Forest Reserve also plays an important role
in providing other ecosystem services. So it offers a nursery habitat for various commercial and non-commercial species of fish and shrimp. Habitat. It also for habitat for migratory birds and local forest birds. So for the local, global carbon cycle as major coastal carbon sink, the burial of carbon in sediments or soil organic carbon, and the above ground and below ground living biomass are the carbon pools that are critical to the role of mangrove as efficient and intense carbon sink. So the first point is the above ground carbon stock in the Matang Meru Forest Reserve as estimate to have declined. So for second, there have been a case of periodical and not able decline in the average yield of greenwood extraction at the Matang Meru Forest. So the last point is the production level of blood cockles at the Matang Meru Forest Reserve are now less than a quarter of its history.
Better lah. Better from, saya rasa okay. Information nak kata banyak pun, I think this is enough. Cuma you know when you do assignment jangan copy paste sebiji-sebiji. Kalau you buat pun actually you have to rephrase. Buat balik paragraph semula. Sebab tu it's a way of you presenting sama juga. You kalau you present pun you baca je. You know when you do you ambil sebiji-sebiji macam ni, kita panggil dalam academic world as an plagiarism. Bila you plagiat macam kita orang yang ada doktor, if they found out that you plagiat benda ni, doctorate you boleh ditarik balik. You know, itu besar, macam mana besarnya isu apa ni, dia panggil jenayah benda ni jenayah in academic. So it's a very 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 serious, but I found it that not only you but kebanyakan my student dia suka plagiat, ambil sebiji daripada internet. You know, when you ambil sebiji daripada internet, it's not the things that you are proud with. Bukan sesuatu yang boleh awak banggakan. So next time, I know there is a lot of information in the internet and congratulations as compared to other group, you make use of the internet information. Tapi silapnya sedikit adalah you ambil sebiji-sebiji, which is not, it is unethical in academic world. Kalau kita orang dulu thesis boleh, bukan sahaja tak boleh viva, malah thesis tu boleh disampahkan, kita panggil. And I don't want to sampahkan you punya board sebab you plagiat. Ambil sebiji-sebiji, but it is a lesson to learn for everyone. Jangan plagiat, jangan copy paste sebiji. Even dalam exam paper pun, it's happened to my student. You copy paste sebiji-sebiji daripada lecture slide. No, don't do it. If not, tak ada, you tak practice untuk being critical. But for now, this group is antara yang information paling banyak lah yang berkenaan dengan our class, ecology and ecosystem. So I think that's all for today. Thank you everyone. And siapa yang tak sempat sign in tadi, saya dah sign in kan, so no problem. Siapa yang lambat masuk, I didn't count. I mean, siapa yang masuk during presentation. Yang lain tu saya dah ambil lah attendance. So ada apa-apa yang you rasa saya tak puas hati lah dengan Dr. Faik, please WhatsApp me. But I try to be generous to give the marks. But you know, Macam mana?